Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Hey, Hare Krishna, everybody. I'm just inviting people here. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. All right. How's everybody? Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Don't speak back too fast. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Yes. Okay, so let's chant a little bit here. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Can you put your hotspot on, please? Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. I guess I have to have the phone closer here. It does that for some reason. There you go. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Some glories of Lord Chaitanya here. This is by Murari Gupta. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda.
All right. There we go. Gaura Krishna then accepted an invitation to reside in the home of the intelligent, exalted Vaishnava, Kashinath Mishra. The reservoir of limited opulence then passed some time in a sportive manner with the Vaishnavas. Then, desiring to purify the tirthas, he resolved to leave Sri Kshetra, the land of Jagannath Swami. Thus he went to see Lord Jagannath. When he saw the best of males, he bowed down before him with ardent devotion and became drenched by torrents of tears. Sri Gaurahari, whose noble form is the ultimate consummation of Krishna Prem, with hands folded in supplication, falteringly addressed Jagannath Swami with these charming words. O Divine Lord, because I am not worthy to reside in your holy land, a desire has arisen in my heart to visit other lands. Your face is bright as the Lord of Night. Your eyes resemble the blossoming lotuses of autumn. Your wide lips, red as bimba fruit, hide pearl-like teeth. How sublime! Who having beheld your broad chest, can desire to go to any other land? Therefore, O Lord Hari, you have not bestowed very great mercy upon me. Your bright face is as bright as the Lord of the night. Your eyes resemble the blossoming lotuses of autumn, and your wide lips, red as bimba fruit, hide pearl-like teeth. How sublime! You who, having beheld your broad chest, can desire to go any other land. Therefore, O Lord Hari, you have not bestowed very great mercy on me. O Janardhan, who inspires the hearts of all, I am going to see other Kshetras. O Divine Lord, bless me with the power to wander throughout the holy places. O Janardhan, who inspires the hearts of all, I am going to see other kshetras. O Divine Lord, bless me with the power to wander throughout the holy places. As long as his mind is flickering and is not fully purified, a man should wander throughout all the holy tirthas. Then when his mind is fully purified, he should return and perpetually reside in Sri Purushottam Dham with fixed determination, as a traveler happily returns to his own ashram. As Sri Caitanya was thus speaking, a garland hanging from Sri Krishna's neck fell to the foot of his lion seat. Then the attendant priest, in accordance with Jagannath Swami's order, joyously placed the garland upon the head of Sri Caitanya as a sign of the Lord's blessing. Thereafter, Gaura's face blossomed, and his mouth filled with the names of Sri Krishna, his heart filled with love, and he set forth with tremendous energy, moving with the momentum of an elephant. In this mood, the illustrious son of Sachi, desiring to teach humanity the path of devotion as received through disciplic succession, went to the ashram of Kashi Mishra, and with eyes moistened by tears of Krishna Prem, addressed him as follows. In the mood of the illustrious son of Sachi, desiring to teach humanity the path of devotion as received through disciplic succession, went to the ashram of Kashi Mishra, and with eyes moistened by tears of Krishna Prem, addressed him as follows. Your grace is certainly blessed, for you remain here to contemplate the countenance of Purushottam Dev, whereas I, having been tricked by him, must now wander to see all the tirthas. Hearing this, Kashinath became extremely agitated. He fell like a rod to the earth at Mahaprabhu's feet and loudly cried out, Oh, why has my son not died? Why am I not affected by some incurable disease? Oh, why rather am I now to be separated from the lotus feet of Sri Caitanya? Oh, why has my son not died? Oh, why am I not afflicted by some incurable disease? Oh, why am I now to be separated from the lotus feet of Sri Caitanya? Thus overcome with grief, he rolled to and fro on the ground. Then Sri Gauranga, his heart melting with compassion, comforted him, saying, I shall return, in other words of goodwill. Next, the all-opulent personality of Godhead, who had accepted the role of a guru of all beings, visited the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Next, the all-opulent personality of Godhead, who had accepted the role of the guru of all beings, visited the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Next, the all-opulent personality of Godhead, who accepted the role of Guru of all beings, visited the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and begged for permission to depart, expressing his wish to travel to all the tirthas. Prabhu, how can I maintain my life force in separation from your lotus feet? Now that you have captured my heart, is it befitting for you to travel here and there? Hearing this, Gaura laughed merrily, and capturing Sarvabhauma's hands in his own, replied, I shall return before long. Speaking thus, Sri Caitanya, the embodiment of compassion, who is very wise in comforting the distressed heart, warmly embraced Sarvabhauma and pacified his heart by his loving personal mood. Speaking thus, Sri Caitanya, the embodiment of compassion, who is very wise in comforting the distressed heart, warmly embraced Sarvabhauma and pacified his heart by his loving personal mood. Thus ends the 13th Sarga, entitled, The Lord Departs and Consoles Sarvabhauma, in the 3rd Prakrama of the great poem, Sri Chaitanya Charita. 14th Sarga. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so disturbed by Gauranga's departure that he fainted on that very spot. Similarly, the hearts of all the other devotees were very, very perturbed. But Sri Chaitanya walked forth southwards until he arrived at the temple of Lalanath, the Lord who cherishes all, the Lord who cherishes all. On account of prema, Gaura's body was constantly agitated by ecstatic symptoms. On account of prema, Gaura's body was constantly agitated by ecstatic symptoms. In a loud voice, he cried out repeatedly, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. In a loud voice, he cried out repeatedly, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. At one moment, he would roll on the ground, and the next moment he would swoon and inarticulately murmur Krishna's names. At the next moment, he would loudly sing the names. He would loudly sing the names of Govinda, Krishna. Sometimes I want to get the heater working, if it's okay with you, just to take the chill out of here. Because I'm sitting in an ice box here. I can't, it's becoming intolerable. I mean, I just take the chill out and then turn it off. I mean, it's just I ice box from the tent and ice box here, and I'm gonna get sick. I don't want to do that. That's okay.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Just to take the chill out, and then we shut it off. But it's like I have to always think about this body because it's so cold. Take the head off, put this thing on. Take it off. Okay. I had to say that so I can move on. Okay. All right, here we go. At that next moment, he would loudly sing the names Govinda, Krishna, Ram. As he beheld the deity of Lalanath, his body became flooded with the ecstatic symptoms of maha-prema. When Gaurahari was traveling on the path, whenever he saw any man, he would embrace him. By that embrace, he invested that person with full transcendental potencies. Suddenly drowned within an ocean of ecstatic love for Krishna, that man would also begin to sing and dance in great bliss. When Gaurahari was traveling on the path, whenever he saw any man, he would embrace him. By that embrace, he invested that person with full transcendental potencies. Suddenly, drowned within an ocean of ecstatic love for Krishna, that man would also begin to sing and dance in great bliss. As that man was returning to his home, with his body flooded by hundreds of streams of tears, he would also give the embrace of love to the members of his villages. They also felt great satisfaction in the bliss of prema, were taking great delight. They sang the names of Krishna. In this way, through the process of disciplic succession, Sri Gauranga transformed into Vaishnavas the people of all the towns and villages. He dwelt one night in the land, in that land sacred to Lalanath Dev, and on the morrow he rose early and performed his morning duties. Then setting forward to the southern lands, Gaurahari danced and sang. Krishna, 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 protect me. Krishna, 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 protect me. While he chanted this mantra, tears of prema fell from his eyes. Those tears formed an ocean of love, and upon the billows of that ocean he floated about, lost to the world of externals. He rolled about on the earth, his body trembled greatly, then he would run swiftly. Sri Hari's throat became choked as he wept, and he cast affectionate glances at the creeper-covered trees. While he chanted this mantra, tears of prema fell from his eyes. Those tears formed an ocean of love, and upon the billows of that ocean he floated about, lost to the world of externals. He rolled about on the earth, his body trembled greatly, and then he would run swiftly. Sri Hari's throat became choked as he wept, and he cast affectionate glances at the creeper-covered trees. Pretty intense. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Caitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Chapter 30 of 10th Canto. Shukadev Goswami said, while Lord Krishna disappeared so suddenly, the gopis felt great sorrow at losing sight of him. Then a group of female elephants who have lost their like a group of female elephants who have lost their mate. As the cowherd women remembered Lord Krishna, their hearts were overwhelmed by his movements and his loving smiles, his playful glances and enchanting talks, and by many other pastimes he would enjoy with them. Thus absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, the Lord of Ram, the gopis began acting out his various transcendental pastimes. As the cowherd women remembered Lord Krishna, their hearts were overwhelmed by his movements and his loving smiles, his playful glances and enchanting talks, and by many other pastimes he would enjoy with them. Thus absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, the Lord of Ram, the gopis began acting out his various transcendental pastimes. Because the beloved gopis were absorbed in the thoughts, Because the beloved gopis were absorbed in thoughts of their beloved Krishna, their bodies imitated his way of moving and smiling, his way of beholding them, his speech and other distinctive features. Deeply immersed in thinking of him and maddened by remembering his pastimes, they declared to one another, I am Krishna. Because the beloved gopis were absorbed in thoughts of their beloved Krishna, their bodies imitated his way of moving and smiling, his way of beholding them, his speech and other distinctive features. Deeply immersed in thinking of him and maddened by remembering his pastimes, they declared to one another, I am Krishna. They even asked the trees about him, who as the Supersoul is present inside and outside of all created things, just like the sky. The gopi said, O Asvata tree, O Palaksha, O Nirigroda, have you seen Krishna, that son of Nanda Maharaj, has gone far away after stealing our minds with his loving smiles and glances. O Kuraba tree, O Ashoka, O Naga, O Punanga, O Champaka, has Balaram's younger brother, whose smile removes the audacity of all proud women, passed this way? The gopi said, O Asvata tree, O Palaksha, O Niyagroda, have you seen Krishna? That son of Nanda Maharaj has gone away after stealing our minds with his loving smiles and glances. O most kind Tulsi, to whom the feet of Govinda are so dear, have you seen that infallible one walk by, wearing you and encircled by swarms of bees? O most kind Tulsi, to whom the feet of Govinda are so dear, have you seen that infallible one walk by, wearing you and encircled by swarms of bees? O Malati, Malika, O Jati Yutaka, has Madhava gone by here, giving you pleasure with the touch of his hand? O Malati, Malika, O Jati Yuktaka, has Madhava gone by here, giving you pleasure with the touch of his hand? Achyuta, Priyala, O Panasa, Asana, Kovidara, Jambu, Arka, Bivala, Bakula, and Amra, O Kadamba, and Nipa, and all you other plants and trees, living by the banks of the Yamuna, who have dedicated your very existence to the welfare of others. We gopis have lost our minds, so please tell us where Krishna has gone. O Mother Earth, what austerities did you perform to attain the touch of Lord Keshava's feet, which has brought you such great joy that your bodily hairs are standing on end? You appear very beautiful. You appear very beautiful in this condition. Was it during the Lord's current appearance that you acquired this ecstatic symptom? Or was it perhaps much earlier, when he stepped upon you in the form of the dwarf Vamanadev? Or even earlier, when he embraced you in his form of Lord Varaha? O friend, wife of the deer, has Lord Achyuta been here with his beloved, bringing great joy to your eyes? O friend, wife of the deer, Has Lord Achyuta been here with his beloved, bringing great joy to your eyes? Indeed, blowing this way is the fragrance of his garland of kandamba flowers, which was smeared with kumkum from the breasts of his girlfriend when he embraced her. O trees, we see that you are bowing down when the younger brother of Ram walked by here, followed by intoxicated bees swarming around the Tulsi Manjaris, decorating his garland. Did he acknowledge your obeisances with affectionate glances? He must have been resting his arm on the shoulder of his beloved and carrying a lotus flower in his free hand. O trees, we see that you are bowing down when your younger brother Ram walked by here, followed by intoxicated bees swarming around the Tulsi Manjaris, decorating his garland. Did he acknowledge your obeisances with affectionate glances? He must have been resting his arm on the shoulder of his beloved and carrying a lotus flower in his free hand. Having spoken these words, the gopis, distraught from searching for Krishna, began to act out his various pastimes, absorbed in thoughts of him. One gopi imitated Putana, while another acted like infant Krishna and pretended to suck her breast, and another gopi, crying in imitation of infant Krishna, licked a gopi, kicked a gopi who was taking the role of the cart demon, Sakatasura. One gopi took the role of Trinavarta and carried away another, who was acting like infant Krishna, while yet another gopi crawled about on her ankle bells tinkling as she pulled her feet. Two gopis acted like Ram and Krishna in the midst of several others, who took the role of cowherd boys. One gopi enacted Krishna's killing of the demon Vatasura, represented by another gopi, and a pair of gopis acted out the killing of Bakasura. When one gopi perfectly imitated how Krishna would call the cows who had wandered far away, how he would play on his flute and would engage in various sports, the others congratulated her with the exclamations of, "Well done, well done." Another gopi, her mind fixed on Krishna, walked about with her arm resting on the shoulder of a friend and declared, "I am Krishna. Just see how graceful I move." "Don't be afraid of the wind and the rain," said one gopi. "I will save you." And with that, she lifted her shawl above her head. Shukadev Goswami continued, "O king, one gopi climbed upon another's shoulders, and putting her foot on the other's head, said, 'Go away from here, O wicked snake. You should know that I have taken birth in this world just to punish the envious.' Then another gopi spoke up, 'My dear cowherd boys, look at this raging forest fire. Quickly close your eyes and I will easily protect you.' One gopi tied up her slender companion with a flower garland and said, 'Now I will bind this boy who has broken the butter pots and stolen the butter.' The second gopi then covered her face and beautiful eyes, pretending to be afraid. While the gopis were thus imitating Krishna's pastimes and asking Vrindavan's creepers and trees, 'Where is Krishna, the Supreme Soul? Where is Krishna, the Supreme Soul, might be?' they happened to see his footprints in the corner of the forest. The gopi said, 'The marks of flag, lotus, thunderbolt, elephant goad, and barley corn, and so forth, are on these footprints. Clearly distinguish them as belonging to that great soul, the son of Naraj Munda.' The gopis began following Krishna's path is shown by many footprints. But when they saw that these prints were thoroughly intermixed with those of his dearmost consort, they became perturbed and spoke as follows. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. So, Canto 1, Chapter 7, The Son of Drona Punished. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. Rishi Sanaka asked, O Sutta, the great Rishi Sanaka asked, O Sutta, the great and transcendentally powerful Vyasadeva heard everything from Sri Narada Muni. So after Narada's departure, what did Vyasadeva do? Sri Sutta said, on the western bank of the river Sarasvati, which is intimately related with the Vedas, there is a cottage for meditation at Samprayasa, which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages. In that place, Srila Vyasadeva, in his own ashram, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Purport. For spiritual advancement of knowledge, a suitable place and atmosphere are definitely required. The place on the western bank of the Sarasvati is especially suitable for this purpose, and there is the ashram of Vyasadeva at Samya Prasa. Sri Vyasadeva was a householder, yet his residential place was called an ashram. An ashram is a place where spiritual culture is always foremost. It does not matter whether the place belongs to a householder or a mendicant. The whole varnashram system is designed that each and every status of life is called an ashram. This means the spiritual culture is common factor for all. Translation. In that place, Sri Vyasadeva, in his own ashram, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Thus he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism. And thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead, along with his external energy, which was under full control. Word for word. Bhakti, devotional service. Yogena, by the process of linking up. Manasi, upon the mind. Samyak, perfectly. Pranahite, engaged in fixed upon. Amale, without any matter. Apasyat, saw. Purusam, the personality of Godhead. Purnam, absolute. Mayam, energy. Cha, also. Tat, his. Apasrayam, under full control. Yeah. I'm going to turn the burners on a little bit. I can't
It's still cold.
Yeah, I've been cold. a long time. It's just the air. It's just I can't do this all the time like this. I have to have some warmth in here. If you have a heater here later on, you'll figure it out. Just take the chill out, and then it's fine. You see, like my face gets cold, and I can't, put this over my face, and I'm just, my bones and everything, my feet inside. Yeah. You're different. I'm different, Okay. Thus he fixed his mind perfectly, engaged it in linking and devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism. And thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead, along with his external energy, which was under his full control. See, that's how he wrote Bhagavatam. Writing Bhagavatam is you see the difference between the spiritual energy and the material. So and you see it's all under the control of the Lord. That's self-realization, enlightenment. So even the demons now, like everything's changing here in the world, which is the test. You notice everything's changing. It's going into a lot more like a darker level of lies and hypocrisy. Okay? And so that's changing here. And so, but it's all still under the control of the Lord. That's why these things come from prophecy. The Lord knows past, present, and future. So, purport. Perfect vision of the absolute truth is possible only by the linking process of devotional service. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. One can perfectly realize the absolute personality of Godhead only by the process of devotional service. And one can enter into the kingdom of God by such perfect knowledge. That's interesting because, this is why people are polarized. They're good people and they're bad people, and a combination. So they're polarized. And the only thing the linking process to the absolute truth beyond the good and the bad is this devotional service. Okay, so, and then therefore, then you can neutrally look at both. Otherwise, everybody's polarized. That's the fights go, the modes. People are identifying and being pushed by the modes and identifying with them, and the modes are moving them and identifying with their position. So that's going on. So devotional service gets us free. That's why it's really the only recourse for this is bhakti. So one can perfectly realize the absolute personality of Godhead only by the process of devotional service. One can enter the kingdom of God by such perfect knowledge. Imperfect realization of the absolute truth by the partial approach of the impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma does not permit anyone to enter the kingdom of God. It's interesting, he says it doesn't consider that the kingdom of God. Sri Narada advised Sri Vyasadeva to become absorbed in transcendental meditation on the personality of Godhead and his activities. Become absorbed in transcendental meditation on the personality of Godhead and his activities. It's practically, I noticed, it's really hard, a little bit hard, to make this transition because a lot of people don't want to deal with it because what's being taught at this level here is there's like a new conditioning coming, and we're being conditioned to it. I mean, even it's like we're being or whatever's happening here is trying to condition us to believe what is actually wrong to be right. I mean, even at this level, like they say, put the mask on. This is the right thing to do. It's the wrong thing to do. So this goes on and on. After a while, we don't want to deal with it. It's just like, hey, wait, this is crazy. I mean, I see people freaking out all over the internet now. They're just like intelligent people. They say, this is freaky, man. What's going on here? You're asking us to do. You're saying this is follow the science, but what you're giving us is not the science. So we're basically losing our sovereignty over our own bodies and minds. Basically, that's it. So that and that's in this movie 1984. It was about that. People, they were tortured into. This guy was torturing. This leader was torturing this man to the point where he was going, okay, 1 and 1 something like this. I forgot what exactly, but it was like basically 1 and 1 equals 3. Yes, and the guy said no. 1 and 1 equals 2. And they kept torturing him more. And he said, 1 and 1 equals 3. And the guy was, yes, yes, yes. See, so it's a reconditioning to accept what is illogical to be illogical. See? So it's a little bit, we're here trying to do Bhakti. I'm trying to do this, and this is going on, and I'm trying to kind of like get it. What is it? What's actually going on? So people on this level, they're being conditioned to lose their sovereignty over their own mind and body and be controlled, literally, by an outside force. And the intelligent people don't like that. It's like, what's going on? This is not right. So I've also myself, it's like, here I'm studying all these things, and they say, well, this is wear the mask because that'll stop the virus. But it doesn't stop it. The virus goes right through the mask. It's not logical. And then you put it on, you can't breathe. You're like, what is this? This is wrong. And they say it's right. And this is going on and on, more and more like that. It becomes like wow, man. So people, it's like intelligent people are like wondering. It's just like they're not feeling good about this. It's like they're trying to condition everyone to be like this, and the masses are being they just accept it. Somehow they've been conditioned by the TVs and all that stuff, and they just conditioned and they just accept very easily. But the intelligent people don't. It's like it drives them kind of crazy. Drives me a little bit like, hey man, what is going on? But devotional service is really, what are you going to do, man? You're going to fight this? The masses are being swept into this. The intelligent people are going crazy. They can't do it. They're finding they can't really do it. I see them getting really frustrated. There's not much they can do, if anything, other than try to educate people. But the masses aren't educatable anymore. They're already. Okay? So devotional service is like, they make us doubt our own selves. Yeah. The thing is, they're trying to make people doubt their own selves. That's the idea. And so it seems like that. Yeah, I don't doubt mine, because it's basically people, normal human beings are meant to process information, and if people, it's just like the CIA used this term. They said, when we are able to make people believe in the lie to be the truth, we've accomplished our mission. See? So that's what they're trying to accomplish, because they have the only way to do that is people have to believe the lie as to be the truth. They have to be just like they come out with this cure for they actually have a cure, and it's been around. They've been using it, people getting cured of the thing, but they want whoever's doing this, and I think it's the AI program basically, is working towards a goal. It's working towards a goal. And anything in its way, it's got to, kind of move away, So the goal is basically a new reset of the whole world and a one world government, that type of thing. So they have a cure for this COVID thing. It's just it's an old malaria drug thing, and so these doctors came out and they just tell the people that, hey man, we got a cure and everything, and then immediately get censored. And also then the mainstream news comes up and starts blaspheming them, criticizing them. So nothing, it's kind of very similar to what's going on in religions to keep the truth from, coming out, So immediately, and then so the doctors started to come out. One doctor came out and said, "Oh, I can't believe it." She was shocked. And just a nice, middle-class woman and just a doctor and trying to help people. She said, "Why are they, this is no freedom of speech and everything." See, all of this stuff is, it can have freedom of speech to get this goal accomplished. So anyway, that's going on, and it's driving some people a bit crazy. I mean, that puts me off balance a bit. But, what are you going to do? You got to, deal with all these things. These are new things. Sometimes even in our Sangha, people, just if I come across it, I'm processing this, and somebody else will say, "No, well, this is supposed to be, you should have it," then they get a little bit of free. So anyway, it's a little bit to be expected, a little bit. Bhaktitam, their goal is that they want to return on their investment. Yeah, the money thing is in there. Yeah, the money thing has always been in there. What do you think the Maya is about? What's important to you? Usually for materialists is money and power and control. Money, power, control. That's... So anyway, so the escape is devotional service, and we'll just, there's really, I have to see, actually on another level, this is under the control of the Lord to cause all this stuff. And it's just hard to understand, because the Lord has the real deep, deep, deep plan on all of this. And gradually it gets revealed, as we move along with all these things. We're getting a lot of conversions in Huntington Beach, over this thing. Thousands of people going out on the beach and having church out there, and people are turning to Jesus, which is important. I did, and it helped me understand what love is, bhakti is. To the Lord, it's the Lord's plan is to get people in the Maya out of the Maya, and sometimes there's these reversals in different ways. As we read this in Bhagavatam, Kamsa was there, doing his thing, controlling the same kind of, controlling, manipulating, lying, hypocritical. See, very demoniac thing. Hiranyakashipu was like that. Stopped all the sacrifices. People couldn't do any worship. They always go after the worship, to stop that worship. So anyway, we're living in these times, so forgive me if I can't always be because I feel like I need to kind of grasp, deal with some of this stuff. It always works out in the long run. I need to kind of get into this, and there's always some lesson. That's why I'm tolerant with others. When you guys got to go through stuff, you got to go through stuff. We're persons, individuals. So Freddie says, those who take the lie to be the truth become angry if you don't agree with them and don't follow as they do. That's an issue. Yeah. You see, so the masses are they're accepting that this is the truth that they're following because the authorities are giving it to them. They've been conditioned like that. They're not because the intelligent people are processing. Like the first thing when they said, do this, put the masks on, whatever else they did, I started to research. I started to get other opinions, because I noticed there is, what is this, only one opinion thing? This is like that. And then you put, so you start thinking, but the masses, they're just accepting. And then they get angry if you don't do it because everybody else is doing it. Okay? And you're thinking for yourself, and I mean, God, you know, it seems so easy, because you just go and you do a little research, and you know, the real authority, they say, well, where are the authorities? Like the central you, where are the authorities, right? But yet I go on the internet, and I see these persons who are the real authorities, are people with experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their experience. These two ladies came out and said, one lady was in the army and was specialized in the mask thing, and had to actually go off, and because she had it on too long and did some weird things to her, she was expert on this and went into studying these things, and said, you know, basically it's not right, you know, don't, you know, and all their studies, there's two of them, you know, the experts, because they're experienced in this, they studied all this, you know, and then they say, no, you have to, you know, wear the mask. Why? Well, protect from the virus. How? See, this is people, a normal intelligence will be, okay, why do I have to have this mask on? Not just, you know, it's like that movie, They Live. You ever see the picture that everything is subliminal? It says, obey, conform. See, this thing, and people just obey, conform, whatever authority, obey authority. See, actually, we're meant to have our sovereignty over our own minds and bodies, and to process and to accept things, even in devotional service. You know, it's like, don't just blindly accept anything. Consider it. You know, consider, does this make more sense? That's why I always preaching. Does this make more sense than anything you're hearing here? Or does it? Or what's your idea about it? How are you? Because we got to process these things. You know, the same thing with life now. You know, it's just, but see, they have this one world government. Look what they're doing already. The CDC and the WHO. You know, like, they're a centralized organization, right? That means whatever they say is law. That's what they want. So, but are they really? I mean, are they right? They've been, and it's meant, any intelligent person says, well, I've been looking over this. They're practically always wrong. They say they're hypocritical. They say one day, wear masks, don't wear masks. You know, Fauci says wear a mask, don't wear a mask, it doesn't do any good, and all of a sudden they'll wear a mask. It's double think hypocrisy. And this is what this thing does, is to get us, you know, crazy, you know, going, you know, like, so these persons, they're saying, well, we're authorities, just believe us. But I'm sorry, but what I'm doing, follow the science. This is the science the science is destroy the economy. What kind of science is that? See, the science. So I'm trying to, it's part of my process here. So it's just have to do a little bit of that, you know, get my mind straight a little bit. You know, this is a science. Just follow that. I said, what? Destroy the economy? What kind of science is that? Well, we're saving lives. Oh, really? Yeah, because if like Trump went out and says, "Oh, we saved so many lives, millions of lives." What bullshit is that? You know, I did my research. Why aren't you doing your research? Why aren't you up on things more than I am? You're the president of the United States. You know, why aren't you up on it? Or are you? Maybe you got some motive back there. Makes you talk about doubt. Makes me doubt them. Doubting all these persons. They got some other motive. See, that's the material motive. It's not pure. You don't actually, they say, yeah, I've saved so many lives. Oh, yeah, you saved so many lives? And, you know, first, and those lives, 150,000 people died. Oh, yeah, we all know. I mean, not we all know. Most of the masses don't even look. But any intelligent person studies all this stuff and says, well, you've been padding the numbers. You know, people die of a car accident and you call it COVID. Everything COVID related and everything. So yeah, 150,000 people are always dying, and you're all calling it COVID. This is well known, man. I've been reading all about this. Doctors are even saying it, and the doctors who say it get fired. What is that saying? All kinds of bullshit going on here in this world, like this. You know. So yeah, and they say I've saved lives. Yeah, well, what about how many lives? There was just, it says over and over again, only 0.01% practically, not even 1% of people have died from all of this. If you in the world, which is less than the flu actually, especially when you find out all these numbers are padded because they have to trump them up. Then they have a cure for what's already here. There's no friggin' pandemic. When you put it all together, there's a cure, that stuff they use. I won't say the name because they'll knock the video off probably. The cure for it there, and then padding the numbers there. So there's really nothing there. So why are you doing this? Well, we know why. Any intelligent person doing research, you want to destroy everything. You want to destroy people. You want to depopulate, isn't it? This is the real agenda, man. Let's get straight, because that's the hypocrisy. Is hide the real agenda. The real agenda is to depopulate the earth, kill most people, and destroy the economy, put in a one world system, and make slaves of everybody, just like John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy said that. I had the quote. There's a plot to take over the whole world and make slaves of every man, woman, and child. And he was killed 7 days later. So that plot is obviously going on. Okay? And this is why the Lord has to come here eventually, because these modes of nature is so intense that who can set it straight? Okay? The intelligent people just get crazy over it because they can't really do anything, and they end up suiciding out of it often. What are they going to do? What do you do when you have your own mind and you have these people that are like that? When this is a kind of a communist, Marxist, devilish thing, very demoniac. In China, I was studying in China, the people were dropping off you couldn't walk down the road without people jumping off buildings and hitting you. You had to, in your cities, that many people suiciding because of this crazy thing, this communist takeover thing, make you totally nuts. And that's happening here now. People, intelligent people are having, it's hard to deal with, because where are they going to go? The only place is this devotional service, really. You have to have a refuge from insanity, right? Intelligent person trying to say, how do I live in a world like this? Doctor Who? Oh, the WHO. It's the WHO, the World Health Organization. Yeah, so they're not. No, they're all into this. They're all into part of this thing. This hoax, this scam on the world. They may or may not know. A lot of people, they just, even in governments, even politicians, they're just stupid. They're not really, they could be just stupid, or maybe they're a little bit on it. Who knows? Who cares? They're still, they're not leaders, real leaders. They lead you into the darkness, or trying to lead people into darkness. Freddie says, democracy is based on the same principle. If you are a convinced liar, the majority will believe you. Politicians are expert in it. Yeah, well, a convincing liar, yeah. They are blinded, Kim Haynes, yeah. They are blinded leaders. They should give us our own island. Exactly. Give us a little piece of the island. Let us live there. You guys can live in your normal, insane, so-called normal, insane place. Go wear your fucking masks everywhere. And just lie and do them and keep people in fear and panic. Yeah, just fear and panic and control them. God, it's amazing. People so-called, they should be intelligent enough to do a little research and find out how you control people, control techniques and stuff like this, is you get them into panic mode and tell them, make them afraid because they're going to lose their body, and you just lie to them about it and get them to do that. Problem, create a problem, the coronavirus, reaction, fear and panic. Oh, so many people are dying and all this stuff. Well, so many people are always dying, and then solution. Oh, solution. Yeah. Masks, mask you up. We'll kill you through the mask, make your brain dead. And then we'll inject you with all this stuff. If that doesn't kill you, the injection, it'll control you, and we'll do our 5 what's with the EMF stuff, I don't want to mention, because AI is watching everything. Can you ever watch the videos now? The words are being taken out. People, this is AI taking out the words that are not socially acceptable, socially to them, to whatever that is. Just take the words out. Where's the free speech? It's all a lie. There's no free speech now. It never really was. Yeah, what is this? First Amendment, Second Amendment stuff. See, Gaurahari Das looks and sounds like. Well, I don't know, man. I can't. I'm sorry, man. I can't bury my head in the sand like maybe you guys can. Well, I just want to think about it. Okay, fine. This is my process, man. If you need to go through it too. But some people, I don't want to think about it. I just want to think about Krishna and all. Okay, great, do that, and maybe that'll be a great example for me. But I need to deal with this, man. Hey, man, this is 4 months. This just started. 4 months. The whole fucking world is changing. Man, I need a chance to kind of catch up with what the fuck's going on here on this level, also. That's just my process. I notice a lot of devotees, they don't even want to look at any of this. I don't blame you. Okay, well, fine. Don't look at it. This is my process. You have yours. You do what you want, man. But don't be coming down. I already had some devotees coming. Oh, Gaur, you should be thinking about. Well, okay, man. You got your process. You just think of Krishna constantly, and I'll just do what I do. And everybody's got their process. That's why I'm able to do this with devotees. Otherwise, it would be one fucking brainwash trip, like the guru thing. Is if I didn't honor everybody's process, it'd be like, no, it's got to be this way, one way, Jose. That's usually the guru trip. Well, that's what they want to do in the world is a guru. This thing. We're the gurus. Just accept, just obey blindly. Well, hey, man, it's important because it's affecting people around me. Yeah. Says, I'm in Texas. Where are y'all? Texas. Yeah. Problem is we look to you to think of Krishna and bewilder us with those trips. Problem is we look to you to think of Krishna and you bewilder us with those trips. Well, hey, man, consider everything. So there's a line, if you can't always just stay. Did Prabhupada do that? Prabhupada was out there preaching he's talking to people in the friggin' world. That's, actually, I don't want to be that kind of guru. I don't want to be like I see now. I don't want to ever be like that. These guys, Krishna, 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 and all the world is doing this, and they can't even, assimilate what's going on or connect it. We got to see it. I don't know. So, anyway, I'm not, here bewilder you with what? Trying to get it straight on a level? What, to make it clear? Clear what's going on here, at least sort it out a little bit. What do you think?
don't know. I don't like how I feel when I hear all this material stuff. I don't like how I feel.
Yeah.
Even though I have to deal with it, I'm living in the material world.
Yeah.
I deal with it when it's in front of me. But when I don't have to deal with it,
yeah,
just cover me up.
yeah, cover me up.
Krishna,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can live inside this craziness.
Yeah.
I've got as much crazy in here as going on out there. I have to deal with me. So, I protect myself from certain...
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is, as I say, this is my, what I have to process a little bit. And, okay, you guys do what you got to do. You can always, like if this is coming to this and you just can't handle talks about what's going on in the world and trying to get it clear and everything, and well, just turn off the video, man. And then when I'm in another mood, you can just come on. I need to do what I got to do also. Yeah. If you can't handle this kind of reality, I mean, actually it's part of the Bhagavatam, it's just I'm here trying to, I'm reading Bhagavatam, and I'm seeing this kind of thing, what's going on. It's in the Bhagavatam, it's part of the process. Yeah, I'm sure it's hard for people to accept this world is fucking changing, man. And you're going to, possibility of becoming fucking robots. I mean, it's what it looks like. So what, Think of Krishna, yeah. Yeah. Well, this is part of thinking of Krishna to me, part of this, what's going on in his Maya. I try to understand. Isn't it called Maya Tattva? The truth about Maya? They have demons working. Well, here's practical things, how they're working. Yeah, this is what Kamsa was doing, and what Hiranyakashipu was doing. It's part of the Bhagavatam. These 6 Satanists are promoting pedophilia, sexuality, taking the truth, yeah. We will stand our ground. This is Texas. Kim Hayes. Oh, yeah, Kim Hayes. Yeah, hey, Kim. Hey, got a new person coming because, we're talking, about things here. Thank you for coming there, Kim. Crystal clear. Yeah, this is my only news report. I am totally not in touch otherwise. Okay. Karuna, 911 was my wake up to the demon. If I was ecstatic, I wouldn't have been interested in their shit anyway. I'd just be happy blowing my nose, etc. Yeah, well, now, I never even looked at that stuff. I didn't even care about it because it wasn't so in my face. And now it's coming in our face, a little more. Yeah. Oh, you got to do what you got to do there, Karuna. This is Bhagavatam examples, yeah. This is Bhagavatam examples, devotees just wanting to instruct you. Huh? Well, yeah, everybody's got to, figure it out. Okay, anyway. Thus he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking. See, this is another thing. People, this is very hard to let go of trying to control others. Yeah, very hard. We're all working on that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said, just do what you got to do there. Anyway, thus fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it and linking it in devotional service. Bhakti yoga without any tinge of materialism. Actually, the sages, They approached Sutta Goswami and they asked him, just you have experience in the world, and you see the anomalies. What do you think is a good way to overcome? Because you got to be aware of what's going on to figure out a way to get through. Certain, there's things change. It's not always the same. Okay. And thus he saw the personality of Godhead along with his external energy, which was under full control. Well, that's good. At least that's under full control. Okay, purport. Perfect vision of the absolute truth is possible only by the linking process of devotional service. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. One can perfectly realize the absolute truth, personality of Godhead, only by the process of devotional service. And one can enter into the kingdom of God by such perfect knowledge. Imperfect realization of the absolute by partial approach of the impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma does not permit anyone to enter the kingdom of God. See, so again, how do you realize the personality of Godhead? What does that mean? How does that differ from Brahman? In other words, you have to just appreciate the Lord as he is. You have to appreciate his personality. Yeah? He comes, he has a personality, he has the characteristics, he has a form. Okay? So if we can do that, appreciate to the point of, because it's very ecstatic when you, so the idea of that surrender to the form and the pastimes of qualities. Okay? Then we can enter the kingdom because everybody else in the kingdom is doing that. Impersonalists, they can't. Okay? And even on the level of Viadhi Bhakti, you can't. If you can't appreciate the transcendental form of the Lord, how can you enter the kingdom of God? Even on the level of Vaidhi Bhakti. If you can't relish the transcendental nature of Krishna, how can you enter the kingdom? Now people think, oh, well, Prabhupada said if I just chant my 16 rounds and do all this and then I'm going back to Godhead. Well, when Godhead is the transcendental form of the Lord, it's here also. Can you relish it here? Can you taste it? Yeah. Do tears come to your eyes like people in the kingdom of God? Are you tremendously attracted to the pastimes in the name of Krishna? Okay? So if it's not like that, then you can't enter the kingdom. Like Lord Brahma says, unless one evinces the symptoms of bhakti, devotion, unless one evinces the symptoms of devotion, tears in the eyes, choking the voice, etc., then one is promoted if you do, and not promoted if you don't, obviously. Okay, chill this out. Thank you very much. Just need a little. My face ain't freezing, and then I have to put this on. It gets me. I can't think. Are you okay with that or something? Yeah, okay, good. All devotees know the world is fucked from the indigo, why they bhaja Govinda. Some don't need to be reminded how shitty or get. We're all here to relish. We're all here to relish. So, yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's why I say you mute it if you're not relishing. If you're not relishing what's going on, just mute the thing, I'm going to do what I got to do. I don't try to control you. Don't try to control me. Come on, they know he's blue and the cows. Okay. Okay. personality of God. Okay, actually, this is kind of complicated. Let's go to the next verse. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of the material miseries. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. See, like in the previous verses, the sage went to his ashram. It's kind of like this, you know, the ashram in the woods, in the mountains or somewhere is peaceful, so he can meditate on the Lord. See? So it's coming to more and more where that peace may be interrupted, and it's a little difficult, you know, so you got to figure it out. So due to the, word for word, ya by whom? Samota illusion, jiva the living entities, atmanam self, triguna atmakam conditioned by the three modes of nature, passion, ignorance, and goodness. Conditioned by goodness even. Isn't that amazing? Conditioning. Para transcendental, api in spite of, manute takes it for granted, anartam things not wanted. Tat by that, kritam reaction, abhayate there undergoes thereof. Purport. Main thing is nice to, you know, it's important to discuss, man, talk to the devotee, you know, discuss things. What's going on with you, you know? Yeah, I listen to you guys, and you listen to me a little bit too sometimes, you know. I had some discussions. Trying to kind of integrate all of this. Isn't that what it's about? Trying to integrate, you know, just, you know, yeah. And also the path of Vaidhi also don't know Krishna. Madhusudana, they know Krishna as their Lord and Master in awe and reverence, but not ecstatic family. Well, they can't relish the deeper aspects. This is where you become really ecstatic. This, especially the sweetness of Krishna. You know? Okay, so purport. The root cause of suffering by the materialist living beings is pointed out with remedial measures which are to be undertaken and the ultimate perfection to be gained. All this is mentioned in a particular verse. In this particular verse, the living being is by constitution transcendental to material engagement. Okay. But he is now imprisoned by the external energy. And therefore he thinks himself one of the material products. And due to this unholy contact, the pure spiritual entity suffers the material miseries under the material nature. So basically that's it, you know. Here we are in this world and more or less suffering the reactions of the material nature, of the modes of nature. Okay? Depending how transcendental we are, you know, is the amount of suffering we experience. This is the thing. This is, if you think yourself in the modes of nature, modes like material modes, material mind, see, material emotions, material mind and emotions, and material body. If we identify too much with that, then there's problems. See, because where do you go? You're trying to, see, almost, you know what it is? People are trying to find home here. Isn't that basically you want something solid here? So now the modes of ignorance and passion, these demons coming out and controlling, they want to lie, they're lying and hypocrisy. And good people are trying to make a home here, something solid. And it can't do it right now. Or you conform and you just trust. Oh, well, this is the right thing. It'll get back to normal, right? They get back to normal someday. Always just, and so anyway, and the other people think, hey, this isn't, and we want our home back, so the fight goes. Isn't that basically what they fought for, freedom and stuff like this? And, in America they had to fight because they wanted a home. They didn't want to be ruled by the government in where is it? In England. Be interesting to see what kind of pressures they were under there, how they were being with them. Okay. The living being is by constitution transcendental. Okay. The living entity misunderstands himself to be a material product. This means that the present perverted way of thinking, feeling, and willing under the material conditions is not natural for him. See, but we've been conditioned with that. See, we think our material, the only way is we need an experience of what is transcendental. We got to taste this transcendental nature. See? Then we don't so much think of ourselves as a material product. See? Think of ourselves as a spiritual product related to the spiritual person, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Think of ourselves like that. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that actual knowledge of the conditioned soul is now covered by nescience, ignorance. See, that's why good knowledge is important too, right? Study these books. See? This nescience, it busts our ignorance. See? So, how many people don't know they're actually a spiritual living entity? Intelligent people, because they don't have this knowledge. They have this ignorant of that. This knowledge is important. That's why Prabhupada wrote these books, wrote these purports. The present conditional state is due to the influence of the external energy, which means the illusory energy takes the initiative while the present Lord is aloof. So the present conditional state is due to the influence of the external energy, which means that the illusory energy takes initiative while the Supreme Lord is aloof. Oh, that's interesting. I was thinking about that. See? So in this world, the material energy takes precedent because the Lord is aloof. See, but the devotees who are worshiping the Lord, so the Lord is not so aloof anymore because now he's brought down here by his devotees' worship, right? He's aloof and just watching everything until the devotees begin to call him down by their worship. Okay? Otherwise, he's just aloof watching. It's just like Prahlad Maharaj's preaching. Prahlad Maharaj started preaching and everybody started to get nervous because the demons were instructing everybody, the nescience, talking about stuff to do with the body and their hypocrisy. They were actually teaching diplomacy, politics, to be duplicitous. They're teaching this as just like now. This is what's going on. They're enforcing that. It's like a Machiavelli philosophy. The end justifies the means. However you can get that end. See, that's what's going on now. There's an end in this world now. We got to change everything. Money system. So the end is this new world order and reset and like this. So the means, whatever to do, is break down the economy, destroy lives like this, is necessary and okay to attain that position. Actually, some of the gurus, they were studying that philosophy, Machiavelli. That guy used to come over to your house, actually. Used to have that book, Machiavelli. That's how they, did what they did. The end justifies the means. Could be a bad, doesn't morality, nothing. It's just whatever you can get your end. So the living entity misunderstands the material problem. Okay. So the living entity misunderstands himself to be a material product. This means that the present perverted way of thinking, feeling, willing under the material conditions is not natural for him. But he has his normal way of thinking, feeling, willing. The living being in his original state is not without thinking, willing, and feeling power. You see, the original condition, which is not so explained here. See? So what is that original condition? See, thinking about Krishna, thinking about the transcendental form of the Lord. The thinking, right? Scriptures, reading scriptures. See, this also purifies the mind, thinking. People are thinking of other things in the world and getting more materially engrossed. Okay? So here, purifying the mind. Feeling. So willing, thinking, willing. See, so willing. See, what are we willing? We're engaging in willing. See, our will to be attentive in our chanting. See, it's part of the will, right? Takes our will, intention. See? And feeling. Ecstasy. So he started to develop, awaken ecstatic emotions instead of awakening material emotions. People are in ignorance of that. How do you awaken material emotions? Well, you just see the Leela of the world. Families and friends, and billboards and TV and you're relating to people in the world. They have material emotions and you're relating to them. And then your material emotions awaken. You remember, and is it this video? Yeah, this video up there. I think it was Johann quoted the verse. Swarb Damodar said, he told this speculating devotee, who's probably a Vaidhi type devotee, he said, well, just associate with the associates of Lord Chaitanya, and then you'll experience the waves of ecstatic devotion. See? So it comes because the devotees have ecstatic emotions. See? If you want to experience that, you got to be around those who have that kind of transcendental emotional involvement and evolvement and involvement with the Lord. Okay? Then we also start to pick up those waves. Otherwise, what are you doing? Associated with your family and friends. They got the material emotions, right? Your family, friends, and your daughters, and they're all nice persons still, but still material emotions, right? Okay? You don't feel the waves of ecstatic, not feeling even those rays. In the material world, we are always ruled by material laws. Otherwise, there would be complete chaos. Well, yeah, like Varnashram Dharma, that's why it's a material system. Material laws, yeah, there are laws. The thing is, there's a point where the idea of the laws they become like, a way of controlling others unnecessarily. It's nice to have the law so things are organized, but when that law is used to manipulate and control people, this is what they do in religion. In religion, they take something that like the what do you call the philosophy of Jesus Christ, or any devotee, or they take our Bhagavatam, which is the law books, right, for the spiritual world, and they use that and abuse that to control and manipulate people. And that's what it has tendencies with persons. It's why it's not perfect here. We need to become purified by the association of purified devotees who are purifying themselves by ecstatic worship of the Lord, purifying their mind by focus on the scriptures, putting our will here to develop this and not develop our grihas out there. When I was with the Freeman, it was brought to light that England still runs everything, but attention has been taken off England. The empire still exists, but indirectly. It could be wrong. Yeah, what I found out about a lot of this stuff, there's pieces of truth there, about, put it all together and you basically get, it's all illusion, a lot of illusion going on there. Too much identification with worldly goals and stuff and control. And so the world's always like that, more or less. Everywhere in the world, people worship me according to spiritual injections. Spiritual injections. But simply by following such regulated principles, one cannot. Injunctions. But simply by following such regulated principles, one can attain the loving sentiments of devotees Vrajabhumi. That's related to the verse. Just associate with the devotees of Lord Chaitanya because they have the loving sentiments, the transcendental loving sentiments of the devotees in Vrindavan. See, so it's the same thing now. How can you develop just by the injunctions of following injunctions Prabhupada taught in the books? Just follow the regulative path and Varnashram, Dharma and everything, and develop the sentiments of the residents of Vrajabhumi. See? Right there, the verse says you can't, but people believe you can, right? But the verse says you can't. See? But what's the proper verse to do that? Is the others, is like Swarab Damodar said, just associate with the associates of Lord Chaitanya, the ecstatic devotees, and then the wave, you'll experience the waves, ecstatic emotion. It's all by association. That's why you can be a Pukka devotee and you can be following perfectly all the rules and regulations. But if you're not, if you don't have the ecstasy in you awakened and you don't associate with ecstatic devotees, well, you'll just die. You'll live and die in that state because it's the only practical way to awaken this very deep state of ecstasy is by association and by it being preached. So, Johan says, knowing my opulence, the whole world looks upon me with awe and veneration, but devotion made feeble by such reverence does not attract me. Yep, it's true. Translate in Dutch. Rangaleka. Look at the reaction from CGHD. Perfect. He states everywhere. Should do your own research to discover the truth. Then we can see the truth and stop complaining. He stares. Everyone they should do. Yeah. I mean, I just everybody you just do what you got to do. Yeah. Some people it's not for them. They don't want to deal with it. Actually, I got something. It helps me in my preaching and relating to others this here, like to realize not to accept. I mean, it gets more clear that we all need to have sovereignty over our own development in that way, and not be just brainless, mindless robots, just obeying and all that. We have to see, what can I handle? What can I do? What is true for me? Sovereignty. Consider information. Like this is I'm looking at this information. This is given by the disciplic line. See? It's more information than just what's in the modes of nature. People only have information that are related to the modes of nature usually. This is information that transcends the modes of nature, but also explains the modes of nature, explains how they interact. Okay? It's like that verse in Upanishads. One should learn the process of transcendence alongside the process of ignorance, or Maya, the Maya form, something like that. I have to look at the verse, but it's something you got to see it side by side. See, understand these things. That's why Bhagavatam goes deeply into this. Actually, the lower can it talks about the Maya and how it interacts and works. Maybe we'll go through it sometime. Discriminate illusion from real truth and real importance. Yeah. I mean, how are you going to, reach others, actually? They're all like in the circle. You got to connect, and connect it first for ourselves and then, help others. I think it's very helpful for preaching, to understand. I mean, this is why the Lord sent these things. There's so many lessons in all of this. For everybody, a lot of people are going to evolve from this. There's these yes sir order takers. They need to learn to understand, is this correct? Is this a good thing? Is this moral? Is this right to do this? Or should I just yes sir and kill people? That's what people, they've been promoting this, just pull the trigger, just do what you're ordered. Yeah. So this cannot be, because living entities has his own way of thinking in his original conditioned state, unconditional state. Is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that the actual knowledge of the conditioned soul is now covered by nescience. It's covered by ignorance. So how do you uncover it? Okay, well, it's Bhagavatam. Also, direct experience, experiencing our awakening of our spiritual body. Relishing, being able to relish the characteristics and the name and the qualities of the Lord. So, see, that gets us out of ignorance. See, it's not enough just to study the Bhagavatam. We need experience. That was ultimately you need to see the devotees who are worshiping in ecstasy and associate them with them, so you can get an experience of the absolute truths beyond just the book. Otherwise, just a book. You have to relate to the book. Oh, I can relate to the book. When I first came to Krsna Consciousness in 1980, and I got Prabhupada's Nectar Devotion, and I was reading, I said, wow, this is amazing. I can relate to that. I'm experiencing stuff like that. It wasn't just an intellectual concept, but I became very interested in the book because, oh yeah, that's the way I felt that. Yeah, that kind of awakening, these kind of transcendental emotions. I didn't have any words put up before, but that was confirmation. That was what became one of my favorite books. I listened to it over and over again. Exactly, sharing what's going on in the world of Bhagavatam and Bible is starting point for sharing Raganuga. Yeah. Yeah, with black cloth. Yeah. I'll put some slits here and I can look. Where's my mask? Oh, good. The sun's coming out again, mate. Is it coming up? Oh, good. All right. Yeah. A little bit more. Thus, the theory that the living being is absolute impersonal Brahman is refuted herein. Yeah, there's some ignorance in Brahman too. See, because you don't know that there's a transcendental form of the Lord, because you can't relish it. All you see is this oneness and blinding light type thing. You know, the light. They're speaking to her. Oh, it's the light. It's the light. Govinda says, lion, disciplic line, not ostrich line. Exactly, sharing what's going on in world in Bhagavatam and Bible is a starting point. Yeah, a lot of Christians that are really into Jesus, they also do stuff with the world. This is coming up. One guy was like, "Don't take the injection." It's they're getting dreams and stuff. Hey man, it's part of it. It's just we're in the world too. It helps people connect to what we're doing. Otherwise. And then what are you doing? How does it relate to me? A lot of people are absorbed. They need their minds purified. They need to make connections, new connections. That's why Prabhupada, he could talk, he's writing like this, and he could talk to government people. He was doing interviews with priests and media. He was involved. He could connect. Yeah, Govinda is really good at this too. He makes connections. He goes to the pubs and talks to people and helps them out of the Maya. That's the thing. A lot of those people, they're going to the pubs because they don't know how to, that there's a higher taste for them. The present conditional state is due to the influence of the external energy, which means that the illusory energy takes the initiative while the Supreme Lord is aloof. The Lord does not desire that a living being be illusioned by external energy. See, the Lord does not desire that a living being be illusioned by external energy. You see, that's why the devotees take the mission of the Lord. Otherwise, the Lord is aloof. He needs a handle. He's the axe, but he needs a handle. So the Lord, because the Lord doesn't want his living entities illusion. Why would he do that? Why would your father like his son to go into a dangerous situation and be killed, right? So it's natural. The father doesn't want his children, his parts and parcels, to be illusioned. But who's going to help them? Okay? This is preaching. This is our mission, isn't it? What a wonderful mission to work on behalf of the Lord, to help people understand. Okay? That's why you notice I keep going back to the first canto. I love it. I love the highest, and I love this, because this is also preaching. People need to see this stuff. And also, we, for our own mind, at this level, this stuff is going on. It's causing some change. We got to kind of like get settled into it somehow, so we can go with our bhajan. Whatever that means. Okay? That might mean get a piece of land somewhere. That's why, part of me is thinking, get a piece of land where at least we can have something where we can do bhajan, right? That's it. It hasn't gotten to the point where, we because this is working right now, but, just, I'm looking at, that's where things are going and how fast they're going there. It's kind of like, Noah, he got the word to build an ark. And most people didn't. Oh, what are you building an ark for? What do you need an ark for, man? But he said, get an ark, to build something, so you can float when this devastation is happening. So, it's not, nothing wrong with, if it comes pretty natural. I'm not into over-endeavoring about stuff. It's something, the piece of land here, we can just park something, It's more like away from the cities, because all the 5G is there and all their hurting people there and stuff. Maybe a little bit away. Maybe we can do our bhajan longer. Help some people. Give a shelter for the devotees to come if they need. Yeah. I found some good stuff about that. Yesterday they sent me some. Sachi sent me that house thing. And there's actually other houses and gave me some ideas. Some of these small little, like out-of-the-way things, they're usually pretty cheap, and they're kind of old, big places. And we can park RVs there. RV is kind of the way to go, you can...
To a certain degree.
You can just move stuff there, and just... certain degree, Like smoke.
Because with an RV, you have to dump your shit, you have to get your water, you have to, you're cold, so we should have parked in the sun, and, it's like, it's not perfect in this world.
Nothing's perfect, yeah. I found a house where they had a well in it. It's kind of big, so you draw the well, and it was kind of cheap, too. So they say something like that would be nice. Keeping an eye on community off-grid, so we can go share classes, bhajans, stuff like that off-grid. Okay. The present conditional state is due to the influence of the external energy, which means that the illusory energy takes initiative while the Supreme Lord is aloof. The Lord does not desire the living entity be an illusion by external energy. The external energy is aware of this fact, but still she accepts a thankless task of keeping the forgotten soul under the illusion by her bewildering influence. See? Why is that? Because the living entity has to come out in the right way. Otherwise, it kind of wants to enjoy this for some reason, wants to be in this situation. So that's why you eventually have to say, I want out, and then be led to the Devotees Association and learn about the transcendental nature. Yeah. See, so the external energy is conscious. Shows you it's conscious of what she's doing. The Lord does not interfere with the task of the illusory energy, because such performance of the illusory energy are also necessary for the reformation of the conditioned soul. Reforming. The Lord loves his children. He knows it's difficult for us. He has given us simplest way out, teaching Lord Chaitanya, etc. So the king puts the disobedient citizens within the walls of the jail, but sometimes the king, desiring prisoners' relief, personally goes there and pleads for reformation. And on his doing so, prisoners are set free. Similarly, the Supreme Lord descends from his kingdom upon the kingdom of the illusory energy and personally gives relief in the form of Bhagavad Gita, wherein he personally suggests. Yeah, we'll read more of that. Actually, I'd like to read more of that. It's really good for my voice, and I think it's time I'm going to get in the sun a little bit, get my feet warm. Yeah, okay. Hey, 15 people still here. That's great. Yeah, so anyway, we're just moving through stuff, so don't hold on to anything. Unless it's Krishna. 16, all right. A lot of people here. So we'll come back again. This was nice. Did you like reading? I like this stuff too. It's really something to do. Especially these times, kind of get clear about what's going on, help settle the mind. Yeah. 17 people. Wow, amazing. Looks like Radhe Dasi. All right. Good. Pani, off grid. When you go there, turn on Facebook, you'll be on grid. Makes some sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna. Have a good morning, and we'll be back. And we'll watch whoever else is going on today. I just entered. Well, you might have to watch the replay there, Radhe. Yes, here most of the is here in the big cities and the villages. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.